Welcome, Dr. Anupama Sharma, for joining us in this session, and welcome all. We have students from Legal Edge, we have students from outside Legal Edge also, I guess. We have Aditya, we have Govind, Himanshi, Shobhit, and all. Welcome all of you for this wonderful, fantastic session. Herein, we have invited two very huge personalities from OP Jindal to talk about LSAT examination, which is going to happen very soon. The last date of filing up the form is tomorrow, I guess. And we have Dr. Anupama Sharma. She is a senior professor over at NUJS, and she has done LLM from Cambridge, and she has also done the SGD from Hong Kong. So she is our guest speaker for this session. Welcome, ma'am.
So much. Thank you. I'm a faculty at JGLS. I did my undergrad from NUJS, just that correction. Thank you so much for giving us this platform. It's always good to interact with the young crowd.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And I welcome all of you, and I request all of you that you all stay connected with this in this session, and you all have to chat. You all can ask questions from Abhay sir and Anupama ma'am, because they both are very senior faculties, very senior personalities, people who are mentoring students since years, and they have seen LSAT and they have seen many colleges, so they can help you, they can guide you along in shaping up your future options, basically for LSAT and basically for the colleges related to LSAT. So this session is going to revolve around the LSAT 2022 session, which is going to happen very soon. I hope you all might have already filled up the form. And this is Shanawaz Rahim from Legal Edge, and I'm the product head of Legal Edge, and I'm your host for this session. So let's start this session with a very important question, that how is CLAT? I just want to ask this question from Anupama ma'am, that if you can tell us students, tell us aspirants, that we actually prepare, we have a myth in the country that the biggest paper is CLAT, all the colleges, all the best colleges, best law schools of the country are under CLAT, and you don't have any other option. So how is LSAT different from CLAT? I just want to have your views on this.
So thank you for that question. So as you said, that there is a conception that CLAT is the biggest entrance exam, but we do have LSAT, which have many possibilities and many options available for the students who appear for it. And with as time is progressing, LSAT we have seen in the last previous few years how LSAT has gained so much popularity and has basically reach another level altogether. So definitely it's no longer the conception that CLAT is the main exam, because we do have other exams and so many more universities which are acing in this field. I would like to request Mr. Abhay, who's from the admissions team, to further address the questions relating to LSAT and admissions process.
So thank you for the question, Shanawaz. So basically the question is very, very simple. But this is a question that comes to almost each and every law aspirant that I have encountered in my experience of test prep or university. People have a misconception that CLAT is a bigger examination. See, essentially any entrance examination in the country cannot be, compared, because each and every examination has its own merits and demerits. Essentially, all the national law universities, they do accept the CLAT score. And apart from that, there are elite private institutions like, Jindal or other colleges which are affiliated with LSAT that accept the LSAT India test also. Now, the fact of the matter is that, not to degrade any particular examination, all examinations are equally good. But one thing that comes to my understanding or any student's understanding is that for writing any entrance examination, there has to be a basic preparation that is required. So when you talk about CLAT, or when you talk about SLAT, or when you talk about ALET, or when you talk about any law entrance examination in the country, the major parameters that are being tested is basically logical reasoning, English, GA, a little bit of data interpretation. And apart from that, legal aptitude is also one of the core areas which are tested in most of the entrance examination. Now, the problem here, Shanawaz, lies is that most of the students who are actually writing this test or are preparing for this test are actually very busy with their board examination curriculum, because in the past 2 years, COVID has impacted the entire education system. So people have been very apprehensive with respect to their preparations, tuitions, and everything. Now, there you must have seen that with the changing trends of the board examination happening, twice the board examination happening, A student has been double-minded as to what is the ideal time to prepare, what is not the ideal time to prepare. And that is where lies the difference between CLAT and LSAT India entrance test. So when you talk about LSAT India is a test which tests you on 92 questions of analytical reasoning, critical reasoning, English. That's it. So our basic selection criteria is based on these three sections. We don't test students on legal aptitude, or we don't test students on maths, or we don't test students on GK, for which they require, a preparatory material, or which they require a standardized coaching. I believe somebody who solves decent mocks, or somebody who solves last year's paper also with a little bit of sincerity, will be able to understand the level of the examination. The best part about the paper is not just this. It's not that it is just focusing on these three sections, that is analytical reasoning, critical reasoning, and English. The best part is that you don't require a holistic preparation for LSAT India test. Moreover, another good part about the entrance test is that if any student is actually looking at NLUs and does not get into good NLUs, so the problem is that they don't have much options after that. So
Right.
having options at hand is very, very important. The more examinations you give, the more options are open to you. The third and the most important thing about LSAT India test is that this is not an entrance test which is actually testing you on merit. It is an entrance test which is testing you on your percentile. So in most of the
Acha, that's right.
examination, you have an examination whereby you look at the fact that I might score a 150 or a 160. That is where I might secure a seat in NLS. Right? Or if I don't get more than 100, I'll not be able to secure a seat. The uniqueness of the paper is that irrespective of the fact, whatever you score, it is always in consonance with the fact that how much do other people score in the examination, because it is a percentile based examination. So ultimately, it is your performance with respect to the other person's performance also. So let's say even at a score of 430, you might get a call from JGLS, and even at a score of 470, sometimes you might 450, you might not get a call, because it totally depends upon your performance in the LSAT India test, and the entrance examination is percentile based. And more importantly, see, it is not a test of your intellect. It is not a test of your IQ. It is more importantly a test which actually assesses on the fact that if you want to pursue law, whether you actually possess lawyer-like qualities or not. So ultimately, if I have to pursue law, what do I have to do? So I think Anupma ma'am is also a lawyer, and she's an SJD from Hong Kong. She'll relate with my statement that once you are getting into the profession, all you need is to have proper understanding, good reading skills, good interpretation skills, and that is what we test in the LSAT India test. That is why the test is very different and unique. So CLAT in a way is a very, very good examination, but we cannot say the fact that LSAT India is not a great, equally good examination, or it's not at all an examination which is worth giving. So irrespective, you want to study in a college or you don't want to study in a college, an examination is an experience which should be written by almost each and every child. And that is where I believe it's very, very important for every child to appear. So 8th of June is the last date for the test, that to register for the test. That is tomorrow. So I believe that most of the students should actually appear for the test for the joy of
them
them
directly. How many of you have actually filled the form for LSAT or are willing to fill this particular attempt? Just give your answers in the chat window. Students, we are waiting for your responses. Just go into the chat window and let us know how many of you have already filled the form and how many of you actually are looking to fill the form after this session and looking for some clarity via the session on LSAT and all the colleges. Okay, so I've started getting the responses. The feeling from tonight, अच्छा. तो कुछ बच्चे सोच रहे हैं कि they will be filling up the form from to like I guess tonight or tomorrow. Some of them have already filled the form, so that's nice. The students are also aware about this fact. So this is a good thing that nowadays legal is also make sure that we actually keep telling the students, Abhay and Anupama ma'am, that it's not only about CLAT. We also keep pushing them that you should go for LSAT, you should go for SLAT, you should go for other entrance examinations, because generally it's a kind of myth around the students community that CLAT is the biggest exam and you don't have any other good colleges except NLUs. And related to this particular thing, I just want to have a question from Dr. Anupama Sharma ma'am, that how do you connect, Anupama ma'am, if someone is not landing in a NLU, that is National Law School, versus doing the graduation or completing the law degree from a non-NLU college, how do you categorize the both of them, both kind of students, and what kind of opportunities they can look upon?
Right. Thank you for that question. See, what matters with respect to any course for that matter, be it law or any other field or any university, be it NLU or a private university, is the faculty, is the kind of exposure one is getting, is the curriculum, is the sincerity of the student, is the, all different possible extracurricular and co-curricular exposures that one get. So whether somebody is at NLU does not automatically mean that the person will end up in a placement or the person will be performing great. Similarly, just because somebody is not in a national law university does not mean that there is no future ahead, especially with the performance that Jindal Global Law School has laid out in past few years. Clearly, we really know there is absolutely no need to give an explanation with respect to how well the students have performed and the university as a whole has performed. Now, I can talk about Jindal Global Law School and the kind of opportunities that we give here. So the students that study, I as a faculty joined here in 2015. And I came here right after my LLM from Cambridge. So I already had an undergrad experience in India, and then I had a postgraduate experience abroad. Now, when I joined JGU as a faculty, I was absolutely amazed to see the kind of infrastructure, the kind of exposure that the students get here. I was now in a different shoe. I was no longer in shoes of a student. I was from a faculty's perspective. I was looking at them and I was absolutely amazed. And this is great opportunity for the students, because if you look at the faculty profiles at Jindal Global Law School, it's very sincerely crafted in the sense that those who are specialized in a particular area, the recruitment takes place in a manner that faculties with specific specializations are called, and they are the ones who are teaching students those specific subjects that they are great at. So this gives students the required exposure in terms of the knowledge and understanding in that particular subject. Apart from that, we have a career office, a dedicated career office, which helps students with placement opportunities, with internships, all the guidance related to that. There are exposures with respect to moot court. There are research societies in different fields of education. So depending on the interest area, the students can collaborate in different projects that are ongoing. There are so many conferences, so many seminars, there are talks that keep on going. And in general, the culture in Jindal Global Law School is to encourage students to write. And being a lawyer, it's very important to be attached to the pen, right? Your pen has to be powerful. So a lot of emphasis is there on writing and research and reading, which I think is very, very crucial. And usually the emphasis is given on a postgraduate level or a PhD level. But at an undergraduate level, if somebody gets an exposure, nothing like it. Moreover, there are so many international collaboration opportunities, which personally I never experienced when I was a student. So now at Jindal Global Law School, this is such a positive step that for those who are interested, they actually have these opportunities. Even when we were interested, we didn't even have these opportunities to go ahead and explore. So I believe that it's about the opportunities that are available to the students, which are there even in non-NLUs, and then it's up to the students' interest and sincerity levels how to make best use of that. Abhay, if you would like to add anything.
Like when we met Shanawaz, we actually just told him. So there's the good news that this year, as per the QS World Ranking, we are actually the #1 private law school in India now. And apart from that, we are the 70th ranked law school in the world, just to add on to Anupma ma'am's point. And apart from that, during the COVID time, Shanawaz, like ma'am said, that research is very, very important. So be it NLUs or be it any other private institution, research is one thing that is of primary importance, and it is just for your information and for the students' information that in the COVID year, that is the year 2020 and 2021, we had more than 280 plus Scopus Index publications, which is probably the highest in anywhere in the country, in the world, rather, I would say. Right. So that's a huge number. So basically, people during the COVID times were not just sitting back or they were just not, taking classes. They were actually writing research papers, and research papers which are published in, international law journals. So just to name a few, we have Australian Feminist Law Journal. We have gender and gender constitutionalism. So things which are published on international sports law, international human rights, intellectual property practices. So many things. So these are all, USPs, which are actually, which you'll find at very rare places. So the practice has to be initiated, and when the professors themselves are actually, in that area, or in that kind of a mode where they are researching, or they are adding on to so much of value to own their own knowledge space, I think the students will be highly motivated.
Thank you, Abhay, and letting the students know about these many things which are happening around the college and the university. And just to add one more thing, I guess students already have received so much of information about the college and about the LSAT, and they might have be very clear about this thought that there are not only NLUs which are there for you to help you, support you, and give a fantastic career options, but yes, there are many other private law schools existing in the country. One of them is the OP Jindal Global University, which is actually doing a fantastic work, as told by Abhay, and their rankings are like they're the number one college as per the US rankings, I guess. And
US
you
World
all
Ranking.
can, yeah, so you
US World
all
Ranking.
can again go for this particular thing. But Abhay, I just want to from the students' perspective, okay, many times many of the students come to us and they point this. Okay, Jindal is a bit higher or expensive on when it comes to fees. Plus, yeah, one of the student has just written in the chat window that JGU is very expensive, and the second narrative around LSAT is the paper fees is also very expensive. So why we should, we cannot afford the college. So this is a kind of narrative nowadays which we are facing from the student side. So if you can throw some light on that particular part, Abhay.
This is a question which I'm always ready to answer, because I get this question everywhere.
I guess
Wherever
students, this is
yes,
the most important question you all must be looking for, and please listen to Abhay very carefully in order to break your myths, to bust your myths. Okay? Okay, over to you, Abhay.
see, if you go to any international university, right, I would not say that we are actually 1/10 of the price that you would actually pay over there, for be the cost of living or be the cost of education, unless and until you're going on a scholarship. Apart from that, see, it's basically a global law school. So you have 450 plus faculty members staying full time on campus, faculty members from more than 40 countries who are staying at campus, right, who are actually going to be teaching you. Plus, if you look at the infrastructure, right, it's state of the art infrastructure that you'll be getting. You'll be staying in an AC accommodation, but that all does not count, right? I really don't think that that's something
Yeah,
which is a
that's
point
a
of concern.
nowadays
That
that's not a luxury to have. It's a
yes,
necessity to have. Yeah.
but more importantly, see, when you have a student to faculty ratio of 1:9, which is the highest anywhere in the country, right? There's no match to that, right? So for every 9 student, we have a one faculty member, a full-time faculty member on board, which is a very, very big thing, right? And most of the faculty members have an international qualification. So like Anupa ma'am is there, she has an international qualification. Most of the faculty members are internationally qualified, and all from elite universities or maybe Ivy League colleges. Okay, so that is another factor. The third important thing which comes to anybody, any student, is that general is slightly expensive, right? So the fees that we charge, let me just tell you the fees. It is 6 lakhs per annum. And apart from that, the hostel fees is 2,70,000 per year. Sounds huge, but apart from that, when we take LSAT India entrance test, in the LSAT India, based on your performance, we are offering 500 plus scholarships this year. So 500 plus scholarships is a huge number to start with,
Absolutely,
right?
and I guess
And
students should note this. Abhay,
so
please repeat this part for the students
we
that
are
they have a
actually
chance to win the
absolutely.
scholarships.
So
Yeah,
any student who wishes to study at JGU, so fees is not even a constraint for you. You have to just secure your merit in the LSAT India test. You have to try and get more than 90 percentile in the entrance test. And more importantly, it is not just the merit criteria. So the interesting part about us is that we just don't have a merit criteria. We have a merit come means criteria. So we give the scholarship only and only to the deserving people, and only to the people who genuinely need it, right? So the scholarship is basically a twofold criteria. First and foremost criteria is merit. So you should secure more than 90 percentile in the LSAT India test. Only then you'll be eligible for a scholarship. And second important criteria is that if your family income ITR is less than 30 lakh rupees, then you are entitled to get a scholarship. Now, this year we have introduced 500 plus scholarships at offering, and the scholarship ranges as 10%, 25%, 50%, and 100% even. So 100% technically means a scholarship, an overall waiver of the tuition fees of 30 lakh rupees for all the 5 years. And whatever scholarships we offer for the entire duration of 5 years. So it's not just that in the first year you'll be getting a scholarship or in the second year you'll be getting a scholarship, right? You'll be getting the scholarship for the entire 5 years. And if you are amongst the top 10 students of the LSAT India test, right? So basically in the January attempt and in the June attempt, we are actually offering 100% scholarship to the top 5 performers in the LSAT India test. So that's
Thank you
technically a
so much for
scholarship.
this part.
So that's technically a scholarship of almost 100, or equal, means that's a scholarship of 100%, which is a scholarship of 30 lakh rupees. So technically the cost of studying at any private university or the cost of studying at any NLU will be equivalent. If you get a scholarship, will be almost equivalent. Then will be almost equivalent to studying at general. So I don't believe that price would be or fees would be a constraint, because we have actually thought over it and we have introduced so many scholarships. Apart from that, another interesting part would be that this scholarship is not for any single program. So let's assume that a student might be looking at a BA LLB. We are offering a scholarship across all the programs of law. Under our law school domain, we have a lot of programs. We have, a BA LLB, we have a BB LLB, we have a BCom LLB. These are the 3 flagship 5-year programs that we are offering. More importantly, apart from that, we are also offering UG programs. So let's assume that, Shanawaz, if somebody is unable to get the cutoff, clear the cutoff, right, or is falling short, let's say, means if you want to secure a seat in our 5-year law programs, the average cutoff that I suggest the students to target would be around 80 percentile. So if below that, if you're looking at a UG program and you aspire to study at Jindal or probably pursue a 3-year law after that, because we offer that also. So for that, we are offering undergraduate programs also, like a BA Legal Studies is there, which is a very, very good program. In that, we automatically upgrade the child after 3 years to a 3-year LLB. And apart from that, we are also offering undergraduate programs in BA Human Rights, BA Criminology, and BA Gender Studies. So across programs, this scholarship is applicable. So fees is a very secondary thing. Write the entrance test and get a scholarship and study at Jindal. Because after that, this is an unparalleled experience. More importantly, the LSAT examination that you're talking about, the fees is very high. So in that also, any student who fills the form, because tomorrow is the last date, you can apply for a code named as LSAT 10. So you get a 10% discount on the LSAT application fees.
Can you repeat the code, Abhay? I'll just put up in the chat window also.
It is LSAT 10. LSAT 10.
LSAT 10. Okay.
Yes. So you get a 10% fee waiver on the LSAT examination fees also.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
On the form filling fees also. And in LSAT, see, most of the people might be finding it very difficult that to understand that the LSAT examination fees is not that high. First and foremost thing is that most of the people might have got confused, because in LSAT website, that is Discover Law, you might find a page whereby there is also an additional charge which is levied onto you for a study material. And that is not mandatory for you to take. So you can skip that part. So most of the student, I believe that Legal Edge is one of the best institutes that I have ever come across for law entrance preparation, right? They've done a fantabulous job in the past 5-6 years. I believe they're the undisputed market leader, and they do a phenomenal job with the kind of efforts they're putting in teaching. So when I met you last time also, I saw that you have also conducted LSAT related mocks. I would request you, for all your students probably, and in fact for our students also, all those who are maybe interested in preparing, because we haven't circulated this webinar with our students, but we'll ensure that any student who seeks any sort of assistance with respect to LSAT India preparation could look up to you, because you people are the best guides. You people have trained and mentored so many students for various entrance examination. LSAT is obviously no different.
Thank you so much, Abhay, for telling us this important information. That first of all, I guess I just want to repeat all the basic information which Abhay has just recently added. So first of all, students, do note this, that this is just a myth that JGU is very expensive. You cannot afford that. So this is just a kind of myth which its kind of narrative has been built throughout the years, and it's again followed by generations and generations. So it's going on. So now at this point of time, you all are very lucky that the college is offering 500 scholarships to all of you. So whosoever is eligible, whosoever is able to crack that scholarship, even you don't need to write any other examination. That is only the LSAT India main examination. On the basis of that, you're eligible to go for that scholarship as well. Plus, They are also helping you in getting a fee waiver in the form filling for process. That is LSAT 10 is the code, which I've already mentioned in the chat window. Please note that code. If you haven't filled up the form, you can use that code and you can get a 10% fee waiver. The third important part, which Abhay has just mentioned us, that is, okay, you are not required to go for the material, the extra cost they are adding up on the form fee. You can skip that because it's not important, it's not mandatory. So you can just go and fill up the form. And through which, and so adding one more part to this LSAT session, if Abhay can, if you can ask or tell me and tell our students that now, normally, whenever we talk about LSAT, so there is only one college which comes into our mind, that is JGU. But can you throw some light on any other top three, top five best law schools which actually covers in the LSAT, so that we can give the students that type of information, that it's not the exam which is only for one college. There are many other colleges also. So in case you're not able to make up to Jindal, you have these examinations, you have these colleges also. Abhay.
So mostly, Shanawaz, there are a lot of private colleges which accept the LSAT India test. So Jindal is obviously the aspirational college for most of the people, those who write LSAT. That goes without saying. But it's important to understand that there are other private colleges also. So obviously, to name a few, there's Bennett University, there's UPS, there is a lot many other colleges also which are accepting the LSAT India test. But the issue over there lies is that you can get admissions in any other colleges on the basis of your performance in LSAT India test. Also, some of these colleges, because LSAT India has a very huge bandwidth of colleges associated with it, right? So there is IFI Law College also, which accepts the LSAT India test, right? There is Bennett also, there is UPS also, there is GD Goenka also. Most of the colleges accept the LSAT India test. The point is that, see, this is not an examination whereby you have to understand to that if not Jindal, then what? This is an examination which you should target your own private or your own best college that you're actually aiming at. So let's say if my target is to study at JGU, my target should be only to crack JGU or probably get into that percentile range and get in here. Apart from that, if I say the name of any particular college, I'm not from that particular college, so it would not be right for me to recommend any particular. But to name a few, obviously there is Bennett, there is UPS, there is GD Goenka, there are a lot many private colleges. There is IFM Law College in Bangalore. So most of them accept the LSAT. The USP or the differentiating criteria here is that OP Jindal Global University or Jindal Global Law School will not give you admission on the basis of any other entrance exam parameter except for LSAT India, right? Except for LSAT India, we will not give you admission on the basis of any other entrance examination test. And this happens every year. Just to share with you that once the application deadline is over and our admission processes is over, we get a lot many calls from a lot of students and their parents asking that if they could actually do anything for us and they can actually get their students admitted. But we are very, very transparent in that manner. We do not take a single admission on the basis of the CLAT score or any other merit of the class 12th marks or anything in that sort. Right. So any student who aspires to study at Jindal has to qualify and has to compulsively write the LSAT India test. Otherwise, there is no scope through which you can actually get admission in any of the programs of Jindal. So therefore, LSAT India is
important information for the students, I guess. You all, if you're all looking for joining Jindal University, then this is the only gate available. This is the only entry gate you all have.
And the problem is most of the people are not even aware of the fact that they believe that we take the CLAT score also, unlike other colleges.
And they have other kind of entry system also.
Absolutely. There is no self-finance seats. There is no management seats. There is nothing at all. In fact, the admission process is so transparent that any call will not be entertained for any sort of admission.
And students, this is not coming out from some XYZ person. He is the joint director admissions at JGU. So he is from the team who is actually deciding on the admissions thing. So you're actually hearing the main thing from the college authority. So be very, very clear on whatever he is saying, he's telling you. And please note the important things. So I have one more question lined up in the chat window. If you can help me out, Abhay. So approximately how many questions do we need to get right in the LSAT to get the scholarship? Kind of how many what kind of score band we need to have if we want to look for the scholarship. You can throw some light on that.
See, I cannot tell you the score band because again, it's a percentile based examination, so I cannot really tell you. So ideally 450, 460 would be the safe bet. But again, if you're looking at a scholarship, I think for the scholarship, your percentile has to be more than 90 percentile. You have to perform better than 90% of the crowd in the examination in order to secure a scholarship. So in an ideal situation, if anybody targets getting above 95 percentile or a 96 or a 97 percentile, anybody's targeting 100%, 100% scholarship, his score could be a 99.9, could be a 99.8, or could be a 99.7, depending upon other person's performance. If you talk about a 50% scholarship, then your score could be somewhere in the range of 9900 and 98. Right. So it totally depends upon your score. And again, I would just clarify that scholarship is not only on the basis of merit. Anybody. So last time, I just like to share with you, a student had a percentile of 99.9, but we did not offer him a scholarship. Why? Because we did not need it. So the scholarship is merit cum need based. So the student's ITR was more than ₹1 crore. So therefore, we could not offer the child a scholarship. So the ITR has to be below 30 lakh rupees. The parental income has to be less than 30 lakh rupees.
That's important thing, Abhay. Okay, students, this is some, we are talking about scholarships, which has to be go around some ethical things. They have to follow some ethics. They have some principles also. So the college is very clear that if someone is scoring the score band, which actually comes under the scholarship criteria, but he actually on the basis of ITRs or income statements, he or she is not eligible to get the scholarship, then in that case they will prefer the student who actually is needy. So as he said, this is not the only parameter to get the scholarship. You need to have the actual documentations also. You need to go through the eligibility or screening thing of the college also, right?
So we ask for the ITR. Once the admission process is over, okay, we issue the offer of admission. So we have a separate form for a scholarship, which is circulated to the student, and the student fills that and sends us their parents' ITR. And we review that, and on the basis of that, we offer.
One more question from Dr. Anupama ma'am. I just want to ask this question from you because you being the faculty at this college, you might have seen many students already. So nowadays, when we do these kind of sessions, career orientation sessions or law as a career, we actually do a session every Saturday wherein we guide the students about law, the different domains available, the different career options available. We are facing a new question, the new kind of questions coming up from the student, that is, how are we seeing the law in the next 10 years? How are we seeing law growing up in the country in the age of this digital era? So where do we see law in the next 10 years? If you can answer this.
Yeah, that's a very valid question. Thank you for putting up that. See, attending this session takes me back to more than a decade ago when I was myself preparing for law entrance examinations. And I can already feel how things have changed so much, right? Both in terms of how teaching is happening, how careers are shaping up. For example, academia at that point in time was not very popular, but now academia as a career, thanks to institutions like OP Jindal Global University, which have given so much importance to research and academia, even as a career, that has also grown. Now we see that the society, the changes in the society, be it in terms of technology, be it in terms of crimes, be it in terms of the kind of financial frauds we are seeing, has been changing, is evolving. Now, as the circumstances are evolving, the law has to be responsive because the law is dynamic. So with the society, the law also has to keep on changing and has to keep on growing. So with this sort of an evolution in terms of the needs and demands, the law, the legal response is so fast, so rapid, that the kind of opportunities that are coming now for the students is so different, which we could not even imagine at the time when we were students. Right now, you would see lawyers in law firms, in corporates, in HR departments, in like there are degrees and courses which are focused in niche areas. Like for example, at JGU, we are offering a degree, an undergraduate degree in human rights, in gender studies, in criminology, which is so focused. Usually these kind of specializations come at a postgraduate level or a PhD level, but they are being offered at an undergraduate level. So definitely the career opportunities have increased, and law has found its place in different walks of life and in different areas. So this is definitely growing at a very, very fast pace.
As rightly mentioned by Anupama ma'am, that in the next 10 years, the kind of crime, the types of crime is going to change in the digital era. The digital crimes will come in. And yes, the law will play its vital role. The chain, the governing body, the society will always need the law to be there. So law will be there. There's nothing to do with the recession or the booming period, I guess. As we usually tell the students that this is something which is recession proof, because this will go on till the mankind exists. So yes, it's a recession proof career. You will be having new options coming up, and you will be having new courses, as Abhay mentioned, that they have different kinds of BA LLB, wherein they are giving you LLB in criminology, or they are offering you BA LLB in some digital crimes also. If you can throw some light on that.
It's BA honors in criminology, BA honors in gender studies, and BA honors in human rights.
Yeah,
So
so
these are
these
the main
new
branches.
type of courses have been coming up, and I guess university will keep on developing these kind of new era courses, so that you all can be in the pace with the coming development in the country. And so few questions are there from the students, Abhay. I just want to ask you that one student has asked us that while filling up the form, it is asking a name of the school counselor. Can you explain that particular type?
Is
Or
that optional? That might be optional, I think. That can be
Acha,
skipped.
acha.
Yeah.
So student, if this it's a optional thing, you can skip that. And one of the student has also asked if you can throw some light on the strategy to go for LSAT examination. Like only few days are left. So what can be the right strategy to go for the LSAT preparation?
See, I believe means I also have a test prep background, so I believe that LSAT India is a very very unique test. So technically, a lot of means a lot of students who are writing the examination should only focus on the fact that their reading speed has to be very very good. It's a no negative marking examination, so that's the best part about the paper. But more importantly, your reading speed has to be very very good, because if you're looking at questions which are comprehension based, like in the CLAT examination, also now we have comprehension based paper questions. So reading speed has to be ideal. You have to have a look at the last year's LSAT India papers. We've shared that with you, and you also have conducted a lot of mocks on LSAT India test. So time management is the ideal thing. Apart from that, you have to be very, very good with English, because see, in the examination there are two sections. Technically, there are two sections. Only one is reasoning, and the other is English, which is reading comprehension. So reading comprehension, if you're very, very strong in English and you have a very strong hold over the subject, your reading speed is very good, you'll be able to crack the code for that particular section. And more importantly, if you're very good in English, critical reasoning also is going to be equally well done by you. So therefore, I believe English is the key to crack the examination. Apart from that, there is no such strategy. Enjoy the examination. Go with a lot of mock practice. That is what I would want to suggest. Right before the examination, don't be nervous. Just take a lot of mocks, do a lot of practice, and have a look at the last year's paper also. So let's assume that you take the last year's paper and you know how much score are you getting in this year's in the last year's paper. So automatically that boosts up your confidence, that had you given the paper last year, you might have got into your aspirational college. So if you give the paper this year, right, that will always you it's always important to go in the examination hall with your collars up. And more importantly, to have that kind of a confidence in any examination is very important, not just LSAT India, but CLAT also. So don't worry about how much others have put in efforts, how many hours do they study. It's important how much do you perform in those 2 hours and 20 minutes. So it's the code to crack any entrance examination. Whatever happens, you don't fail the examination, you just don't make it. That's it.
Thank you, Abhay, for throwing this slide and telling our students, motivating them. So this is the success mantra for LSAT, that do lots and lots of mock. We have already done so many of mocks at Legal Edge. So you all have those mocks lined up in the dashboard portal. You have the LSAT website also, wherein you have different mocks available and the material also. The very important thing said by Abhay is you can go for the previous year question papers. That will help you a lot in understanding the paper pattern and understanding the depth of the questions. The reading and the English, as we all play for the CLAT also, that it is going to be the very important part for LSAT, for SLAT, and all the law entrances, because we all know that all these law entrances examinations are reading heavy examinations. So you have to be very good in reading and comprehending the things. Plus, it's a skill which will help you throughout your life when you'll be getting into the college, doing for research papers, and you'll be entering into your internships, and you'll be joining the firms also. It is going to help you a lot. So I'll be taking next last 10 minutes from you, Abhay and Anupama ma'am. Students, both of them are still available. You all are live here, so you all can throw your questions quickly from Abhay sir and Anupama ma'am, so that you can clarify all your doubts. Meanwhile, from Anupama ma'am, I just want to ask one more question. It's not a kind of question rather than a message. So the students who are actually have been just promoted to 12th and will be looking up for these low entrances, specifically for LSAT, what will be the message from your side as a faculty, as a teacher, as a mentor, they should be going for? If you can answer this.
Right. So my message to them would be follow your heart, follow your interest. The fact that you have chosen to be a part of the legal community in itself is something that I would like to applaud, because anyone who is part of the legal community is serving in some form or the other to the nation's progress, to the nation's law and order. And that is a very, very important part that you play, not just today, for future. At every moment, as we just discussed, law has always been an important part of the social development, of nation's development, and it will always remain. So to begin with, I would like to applaud that. And secondly, be calm, be composed, be confident, and if have faith in the effort that you have put in. And always remember that every form of attempt is a learning. So there should not be any scope for dejection. Now, it's so thank you for all the kind introduction you have given about us, but it has taken a lot of failures as well to come to reach to this level, right? And we are still struggling in our own ways. So nobody should be dejected. That is what the message that I would want to put across. And treat every exam, every attempt, every mock test, every practice session that you're giving as a learning experience, because there is always some scope to do better, to perform better, and do not consider this to be the end of it. Oh, I have not performed well in today's mock exam. No, it's nothing like it. I know it's easier said than done, but trust me, I've been through that. I've been through coaching, examinations. I've given so many of law entrance exams as well, and not just that, after that for other degrees as well, interviews, internships, whatnot. So it's always a mixed feeling journey. So keep the spirits high, be motivated, have faith in the efforts you have put in, and everything will be in order. And all the very best.
Thank you so much, Dr. Anupama ma'am. And it was a fantastic message for all our future aspirants who are looking for Jindal, for looking for all the best law schools of the country. I guess the message was very well delivered from your side. Abhay, we have two more questions from your from the student side. One is they're asking about how many seats in tech we have at JGLS. And second, so you can ask answer this one, and then I'll ask the next question.
Okay, so for the 5-year law program, we have a total of 780 seats, which is divided into 3 programs, which is BLLB, BBLLB, and BCom LLB. So the intake is total 780. So roughly when I talk about these 3 programs are in the June attempt, our percentile above 80, 85, or maybe like, let's say the first, obviously the first, when the LSAT results is out, so BLLB is obviously filled in the very first go only. So the sad part is that LSAT happens twice every year. And in the January intake, we have already filled half of the seats. So the number of takers in this entrance test is also very high. So obviously for this year, again, we just have half of the seats at our disposal. So almost 360 seats are already full out of those 780 seats that we're actually offering.
That's great. And they're also just they want to know that what kind of placements and packages are we giving to the students in our recent batches? If you can throw some light on that.
Yes, great question, in fact, and I really look up to that this question again. So another misconception is that we do not offer placements or something of that sort. So basically, when you're a student at JG, you do not just come for placements over here. You also look for opportunities. So therefore, we do not have a placement cell over here. We have an Office of Career Services cell over here. So there is a dedicated team named as Office of Career Services, which has a lot of experienced people whose main job is to provide you opportunities in the field of litigation, opportunities in the field of corporates, MNCs, education, anywhere that you want. And more importantly, their job does not just get over there. They are also deeply and keenly working to get you good and decent internships in best law firms of the country. So the Office of Career Services is a dedicated team which is actually looking at your CV drafting, which is actually looking at your internships, which is actually looking at getting you, your kind of opportunities in terms of placements, if you're looking at that, right? So everything. So technically, any university in the country, again, this is for your and the students' clarity that I say, any university in the country does not guarantee placements, right? But we over here guarantee ample opportunities. And if people want stats, we have that also. So in the COVID year, on the 0 day, that is obviously the last day of the 9th semester, almost each and every law firm of the country has actually interviewed our students, and more than 80% of the batch got placed on the 0 day itself. So that is a pre-placement offer which most of the students got before getting into their final semester. So which is a very, very big thing, right? And again, if you talk about any law firm, be it any top law firm of the country, right? If you want to name a few, it could be Amarchand, Luthra and Luthra. We have our alumni almost in every law firm. In fact, I would also like to state that 15 of our law graduates are actually interning in the High Court of Hawaii right now as a judicial clerk. So that's also a very, very big thing which I'd like to share with you. So there are international opportunities also. In any law firm you go, we will find alumni of Jindal who are performing extremely well. Most of them have also reached to the level of becoming a senior partner from the first batch, those who passed out. So they've done an extremely wonderful job. They've done a reasonably well, they've chosen a reasonably sorted career path. Most of them, those who are into government services, they are also doing extremely well. So opportunities are ample, be it respect to placements, be it respect to internships, be it respect to international opportunities. Everything is available.
Thank you so much for sharing this crucial piece of information, because I guess the placements is the pain point of every child, because
So,
they want to be,
like I told you, so there were 15 students
yeah.
approximately who are actually interning in the Supreme Court of Hawaii right now. So
That's great. That's huge.
it's a very,
That's
very big
huge.
thing.
And as far as the name of the university, the JGLS is a brand altogether, and we all know that it doesn't need any kind of introduction. But yes, the narrative which have been built throughout the years that it's expensive, it's already been answered by Abhay sir, and whosoever is joined late in the session can we'll be uploading the same session on our YouTube channel as well. You can share that session, you can replay the session, and you can again brush up all the crucial information which we have shared. So on again, I'll be giving some important pieces of information which we covered in this session. That is, the form is going to close by tomorrow. You all have a code which you can use in order to get a 10% fee waiver. That is LSAT 10, which I have already mentioned in the chat window. You can scroll up and you can check the chat. Second thing, you're not required to go for that material which the LSAT India website is offering you, the study material. It's not mandatory, it's not compulsory. You can skip that part so that you can fill the form at a very economical value, economical cost. Third thing which we discussed in this session was a narrative which have been built around LSAT, that there is only one college available. We discussed about other colleges also. There are many good colleges which are covered in LSAT India. So it's not that you should only, if you're not willing to go for Jindal, you should not go for LSAT. There are more than 15, 20 good colleges in the country, good universities in the country, which are accepting the LSAT scorecard. So you should go for that if you're looking to join a good law school. One more thing which we discussed in this session was that it is a myth that even if you're not attempting LSAT, you still have any other entry points or any other kind of entry areas through which you can enter into the general university. Wherein Abhay sir told us that LSAT India is the only gateway for all of you to enter into the college. So do not skip that paper, which is going to happen in the around 22nd of June. They'll start going up with the slots of the examinations. So if you're looking to join Jindal, you have to go through LSAT India only. You cannot go for ILET, you cannot go for CLAT, you cannot go for SLAT. This is the only way to enter into the university. One more thing which we discussed, that college is offering scholarships, fantastic scholarships for 500 students on the basis of LSAT scorecard, plus the need-based screening of your documents. So it is just a myth that the college is very expensive. You cannot afford that. If you're not well-to-do, you're not coming from a family wherein you are earning in crores and all those stuff, you should not go for Jindal. So this is a myth. They are giving scholarships to 500 students, and you all have the chance to win that scholarship by writing the LSAT India June attempt. And the last but not the least, whosoever is still looking to go into a good law school, LSAT, the gates for LSAT is still open. Tomorrow is the last date, and we have already circulated everything, the brochures, the form filling links on the batch channels. On 12th of June, Legal Edge is coming up with All India Open Mock CLAT offline, which is going to happen around 12 centers of Legal Edge across the country. So do fill up that All India Open Mock CLAT also and go for that All India Open Mock CLAT. Beside this, if you want to add something else, Abhay or Anupama ma'am, so you are most welcome.
No, I think that from my end, I don't have anything else to add. But it was lovely, lovely to get associated with Legal Edge for this particular session. And I hope we do such sessions again in the near future. And hopefully, the basic objective is to give correct information and give good guidance to the students. And I believe we've done that really well. And I'd like to congratulate Legal Edge also for doing an extremely wonderful job in the past 2-3 years when I've seen this transition happening from people, taking up Legal Edge as a primary, even from Lucknow or Mumbai or anywhere. Means even my own students, when I used to teach, they were actually taking your test series and everything. So congratulations, you people are doing an extremely wonderful job.
Keep up. Thank you, Abhay sir.
Yeah. I agree with Abhay. That's really great. And it's very important to have such sessions because young students, it's very easy to be misguided. So it's very important. The job of the coaching center does not just end at teaching them about the entrance exam, but also, to help them clarify any doubts with respect to entrances and universities. So I think it's a great opportunity. Again, honestly, when I was a student, I had attended coaching. We never had any such sessions. So definitely a big leap in all these areas, and congratulations and all the very best to all the students. Thank you
so much, Anupama ma'am. Thank you so much, Abhay, for joining us for this fantastic session. And I hope to have you all again in these sessions. We'll be doing many such sessions in the upcoming year, specifically for the 23 batch. And thank you all students for joining us in this session and asking your doubts. So on this note, have a very fantastic evening. All the best for your LSAT and CLAT examinations. Do your best, give your best shot, and I hope you all achieve your dream law school. Thank you. Bye-bye. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Thank you everyone. Good night.